Hi, I'm Shari Harris with Fathom Realty. Welcome to my channel. Here we talk about real estate and the St. George area. I often get asked why I moved to St. George and why I'm a real estate agent, so I'm going to address both those questions in this video. First, let's talk about why I live in St. George. Well, I grew up in northern Utah, and the dream was always to come and retire in St. George. That's kind of felt like that's what everybody did, or they had a second home in St. George because it was warm. They wanted to escape the cold winters. So I always just kind of had that dream, and my husband felt the same way. So we would talk about moving there when we retire. Well, one time when I was vacationing in St. George with a group of girls, I called my husband and I was like, why are we waiting to move here when we retire? We don't love the snow and there's no guarantee of tomorrow. So we started planning to move to St. George. I took a picture of the beautiful Red Mountain in Ivins, put it on the dream board where we would both see it, and my husband started applying for jobs in the St. George area. I was self-employed, so I started I was doing home organization workshops, so I started scheduling some in St. George, so when we went to visit, I could start to build up a client base in the St. George area. And yeah, everything just kind of came together. I was a little nervous about the retirement community. I thought maybe it was all for people who had retired and maybe our family, it wouldn't quite work, but I was totally surprised when we moved here how many opportunities there's been for our family. Our children have really just blossomed in this area, so it was one of the best decisions we've ever made to move to this area. Now, why I'm a real estate agent? It probably goes back to my childhood. I had the opportunity to help clean up some homes as they were being put on the market. And I was always amazed on how you could transform this kind of rundown, ugly home, water the lawn, clean up the weeds, maybe take down old window treatments, paint the walls, clean the carpet, it was never a major overhaul, but just cleaning it up and making it beautiful for someone to buy for their home. And so that always intrigued me. As I got older, I used to read a lot of books about real estate investing, and just really, I was watching the market. I was always looking at all the homes that were on the market in my area, but I didn't jump into being a real estate agent. I heard that most people didn't succeed, and I was listening to the wrong people. So I just kind of put that dream interest to the side, I still was always looking at homes and checking out what was happening in the market, reading about it, but I wasn't pursuing a career. Fast forward, a neighbor, they move in across the street from us. I find out she's a real estate agent. We start talking and I decide to go for it. So I was working for a lender when I got my license as his executive assistant and doing some processing. So I was familiar with that side of it, which really comes in handy when I'm helping my clients to know what's going on the lender side. So anyway, at the first probably year, I kept working for them and doing real estate on the side. The moment I had saved up like 1 year's worth of my wages, I left working for the lender and became self-employed completely full-time doing real estate and love it. I get to meet the most amazing people who are looking to move here. I learned so much from them and get to know them well as we're looking for a home and like educating people about the area, because it's not always the best fit. That's kind of what's behind this channel, is St. George isn't for everyone, and I recognize that. So I'm hoping that by sharing about the area, people can make an educated decision about whether this is the best place for them or their family, and just kind of not waste their time. It's horrible when you move somewhere. It's expensive and then you hate the area and you have to relocate. It's so much stress. So I try to ease all of that for people. Anyway, I just love real estate and I love the St. George area. I would love to help you. All my contact information is below. Talk to you soon.